for the animation experience here at Conservation Station. This is a nice sized crowd. This tickle class, and my goodness, this is a pretty big crowd too, yeah. Are you guys excited? Are you ready to learn how to draw a classic Disney character from Zootopia? Yeah. Now, by the way, I want to give you a little bit of a riddle here. What does this class have in common with the best time for a dental appointment? They're both at 2:30. No, too early for that one? Good, like that? Good, awesome, great. My name's Mike. I'm going to be sharing with you how to draw Flash. Flash the Sloth, of course. You know, remember Flash, don't you? The sloth in the movie Zootopia. You know, the one working in the DMV with the stamp and telling the joke about, you know, what do you call the camel with two humps? Remember that joke? The big old smile kind of. Anyway, I can't do that. Anyway, regardless. Great, we're going to be learning how to draw a sloth, and I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of new things about sloth which you probably didn't even know. It's going to be exciting, but now we have something to inspire you to be able to draw a sloth. So take a look to these screens to your left and right. Hopefully what you see will serve as your animal inspiration.
Animals have always been at the heart of the Walt Disney Company. As Walt himself once said, I hope we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse. Although Mickey was one of the first characters to draw inspiration from the animal world, soon many more would follow. Walt Disney understood the importance of spending time around animals, studying their behaviors and personalities. Animators continue this practice to this day, bringing to life realistic characters and dynamic storylines that we've enjoyed all these many years. Walt's passion for nature led to exploring wildlife and the great outdoors with a documentary series known as the True Life Adventures. Later, Disney Nature Films launched to continue inspiring audiences with breathtaking stories about wildlife and wild places. Walt Disney was a true pioneer for conservation. Today, our company remains committed to taking action to create a happier, healthier planet for all through what we call Disney Planet Possible. This includes reducing our environmental footprint, caring for wildlife and their habitats, and creating stories that inspire action. Today, you are at the place where the magic of nature comes to life. Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, dedicated to showcasing amazing animals and the places they call home. This park creates experiences that inspire our guests and provide opportunities to join us in protecting our precious planet. Here, the future of animals and their stories are always a new adventure, growing and waiting to be explored.
Great, up on the screen now you should see some guidelines to match the one in your paper. And this is what your drawing should look like when you are done. So you think you can draw that?
No.
Really mean no. Of course you can, because I'm going to walk you right through it. We're going to do it step by step. I've had a great time learning how to draw Flash the Sloth. Now, I'm not sure we can even give him a last name for the film. They didn't bother telling us, but we know a few other things about him as well. Right? Yeah, that's right. We're going to know the eyes. The eyes and the nose. Probably the nose. It's right there in the center. They kind of zoom down a little closer. And zoom down a little more. Shift it over. There's his face. And nose is going to be right there. That big oval shape you see. That is for the nose. And let's get started drawing Flash. Now, did you know that his license plate in his car, when he got stopped at the end of the phone, what the license plate read? FSTNML. Fast Animal. Ironic, right? I thought it's kind of a cute little thing to know. Let's get to work on that nose. With a sense of smell from a sloth, which is basically going to divide this a little bit to separate where the nostril area is on our nose. It's going to be right here. We're going to draw a little light line. You got a wavy line that goes down and then up and over. I keep it kind of light. A little bit of a waviness to it here. Up and around now, it's going to darken it in a little more.
Like this?
We're not sure what his last name is, but we do know the name of his girlfriend. Remember the one that he's dating when he talks about and works in the office? Yeah, they go in that date section. That was his girlfriend's name is Priscilla Tripletoe. triple toe, which kind of leads to a nice interesting thing about the
Tell
sloths.
them to come
There are like
over here on
6
this side. Tell them
species
if
of
you want.
sloths that are alive
You don't
today.
want to. You want
And
to.
there are 3-fingered sloths,
You want to
and
come
there
over
are
here with them?
2-fingered sloths.
Okay.
But all sloths have 3 toes. Regardless of how many fingers they all have 3 toes. Just throw that out there for you in case you did not know. Right now, there's a little shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and curve out the form of my oval here for the nose. So the sense of smell, it's a smell, excellent sense of smell, and it is the primary sense they use
Do we trace?
because their vision really isn't all that
Do we
great.
draw a circle? Do we trace
There.
that?
Now curve this around to the bottom. And connect these areas together. Yes. Probably asking questions that probably occur to you. Why are they so slow? They can't be good to be that slow, right? Well, it works fine for them because they are what's known as folivores, primarily eating leaves, lots of foliage, and occasionally some fruits and some seed pods, occasionally, but generally, and this of course lends very well to their digestive system because they have a very efficient but slow metabolism. The purpose is to drag it out for you. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some nostrils in here. One nostril holes. And draw that in. Oval shape. There's one, and then I'll draw one on the other side, a little narrower. As it curves away. Flash. And I'll even shade in the inside. And all that, and also then shade the rest of the nose, well, the leather part, just not very dark. So I kind of set it out there. Great. All right, now let's play a little bit with those eyes. All right, we're gonna work on the eyes.
That's good.
I guess we'll work on the left eye first because we've got more area to work with. If you want, you can draw a little line going straight down from here, very lightly. Okay? Your pencil doesn't have an eraser. My pencil doesn't have an eraser, so you're not going to be able to erase anything, and it's okay. It's okay. You know why it's okay? Because this is a drawing class, not an erasing
We
class.
draw this line, like right there, right?
Don't worry about it being perfect. This is the edge of where our eye is going to go. Now I'm going to draw the shape for my eyelid. It's going to curve up. I think I'll take it all the way up over here. Very lightly. Keep the little guideline we have up here, which is why it's there. And then I'm going to slide this on closer to my nose and let it dip down a little bit. And since this is my eyelid, I'm going to go ahead and connect it across. And I can make this line a little thicker and a little darker. There. And when I'm done, let me also kind of go suggest some heavier marks. Same thing, yeah, that's the top of the eyelid. Now the rest of the eye below. I'll begin over here, just inside, curving this over. And the side of the eye is going to be way back here. Going underneath, and we're just going to round up the shape.
Oh, sorry.
For the
You want
eye.
to come in that way? I won't get in there.
They do not have very good vision, they're very, very poor eyesight. So that's okay, with the rest of their senses, they're able to do what they need to get around. Now let's add in his iris and pupil. Draw a little half circle, maybe probably less than half circle. There, curve that around.
Kind of nice.
And then I'm gonna put in my pupil right inside there as well. And shade that through the pupil. If you want to put just a little hint of eye color in there, you're welcome to do so like I just did. There it is. Then I'll even shade in my eyelid. There. In that eye, it's drawn, now it's going to go ahead and draw the eye patch around the eye. Eye patch. I'll begin over here by my eye on this one side. And slide this over. And let it dip just a little bit over the edge of my circle. And then I'll let it slide up a little more. Just a little bit. So that's eye patch. Okay? Now the other side of that eye patch is going to actually go around the eye here. Just look this around. Let it fit in between. And it's going to go in between this little, see this little small mark right here? That's for the dimple. This little eye patch is going to come right in between it. And now I'm going to kind of keep it parallel
Is it my turn?
all the way back to the edge of the circle. For the eye patch area. And if you feel like you want to shade it in, then go ahead and shade it in. To separate this dark patch area for our sloth. All right. Sloths generally have 30% less muscle than mammals similarly to their size, okay? Yeah. But they're very, very unique. Even in the wild, they'll move very, very slowly, which is the key to, allow them to get around. 40 yards per day. And they'll sleep about 15 to 20 hours out of the day, too. They sleep a lot. Yes. One thing that you think that he'd be doing, sloths are also known for hanging upside down. But you never once see flags hanging upside down. They're always upright like they're going up. So, is that part of the thing? I don't know. But we didn't put that there. I guess they didn't want to work that into the story. But then typically, a lot of times, the sloths will spend upside down. Okay? All right. Got that little section done. Now let's work on the other eye way over on the other end. After that, we also got to shave off a little bit of the side of the head. From way up here, I guess I can draw this little section for the side of his head. I'm going to borrow from the edge of my circle here. Pull that over. And this is going to catch right up to that guideline. So there. I think that gives us the best speed. And from here, I actually can take this a little lower. And when this line crisscrosses down here, I'm going to pull this up. To kind of make his cheeks look a little more, not gaunt, but give him kind of a throat here. There. Kind of slide the area over, kind of give him that little area that we need. And next thing is to go ahead and finish the other eye. So, all right, next I'm going to draw the shape of my eye here. Then with a little bitty small line, curving this on over. Because you'll only see the eye from the side, so there it is. Next we need to indicate where those eyelashes are going to go. So we have some thick lashes here. We're going to draw some thick lashes on the other side. Then we can close off the bottom of the eye. That little blue line at the bottom, that's for the bottom of the eye. Right there. And next is to include the iris and pupil. So yeah, neatly tucked away in this little small section. We're going to be putting what's left of our iris and pupil. And there you have it, there's the other eye. Now we need to add in a bit of mask shape that's happening here as well. Small little curve up and over it. Don't forget this little part, this little small curve. Which means we can now shade in that area. Yeah, nice. Next is going to be the hair. And one of the weird things about the hair they have, their hair kind of flows in the opposite direction of most mammals' hairs, okay? But their hairs go from the stomach and curve outward. Most of the animals who go from the top works down. Theirs goes radiates out from their stomach, which is very, very weird. But apparently this is gives them a thing called the drip tip on the back of their fur, which makes it easier for them when they get rained on for the water to roll off of them. Yeah, for some reason, that's what they do. All right, so we're going to draw the hair, but we're going to give them some neat guy-like hair here. It's going to begin a little widow's peak at the front, curve it up and over like so. Let's start by widow's peak. And then the other side of that widow's peak, now that I've got this little section worked out, it's going to dip down a little lower. Kind of bring this in backwards, picking up from the edge. And then I'll slope this up, high, and then around. That is for the break of the hair on his head. There. One of the cool things about our characters, as I mentioned before, they do spend a lot of time upside down, but the things that they'll do upside down, they can eat upside down. They can sleep upside down. And the girls, yes, they can give birth upside down. You're going, how in the heck does that work? I don't know. This is just what I'm hearing and learning about, so there you go. However, one of the reasons why they can eat upside down is because of the very unique chamber they have in their stomach. It's floor chamber like a cow, but their esophagus has a loop in it, a loop-de-loop to connect the stomach. So it does a little, that way enables them to be able to eat upside down. That way it has to go around a little loop to get to the stomach. I know it's weird, probably thinking this is stuff about sloths and I had no idea, right? Neat stuff, well, there you go. Okay, next I'm gonna think about my sloth is gonna be, so you can put the hair on the top of his head, we can do that, put the hair on top of his head, let's go from the right side, and I'm gonna draw in some of the areas for the hair that he has curving over his head. To the right side. Then I'm going to add in a couple little bitty sections of that fur of his. I'm working my way up, a couple little small sections here, only one that kind of takes it over that little guideline. A little spike of hair on this one side.
Look at my hair.
There, get that one drawn in, a couple of streaks of hair sticking out. Oh, can you see that okay? Is it better on the screen now? Is that easier? There. And then this is going to slide the back of the head, a little more. And my goal now is to get to this line over here. But it is going to slope out. We're going to create that little bit of a drip tip here going the back of his head.
And attach it.
And attach it right like that. So there you go. Chance to go ahead and draw those bits of the hair, put it on the back of his head. Which means we can now add something very, very important. In fact, if you're thinking about this, we're going to draw that one part of the sloth that you guys are thinking about right now. You've imagined it, it's been in the back of your mind, it's your visualizing as you see the sloth. That's the next picture we're going to draw. In fact, all of you, I'm so confident you know what this is. On the count of three, I want all of you, group participation time, to yell out the picture we're going to draw next for a sloth. Okay? You know, the next picture we're going to draw next, we're going to draw, and you're all thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Expressive eyebrows. Wow, yeah. You guys are with me? Did you say eyebrows? You didn't say? Okay. I thought I heard someone say eyebrows, but okay, we're going to draw some eyebrows. Okay, no, they don't have eyebrows, but we're going to draw them here so they can be more anthropomorphic. Curve this up for the shape of our eyebrow. All the way over. I know you guys are thinking about this because it looks kind of funky if you don't draw it in there. Yeah. So these guys move so slow. They move so slow that stuff grows in their fur. Okay? Now they live in the rainforest canopies of Central and South America, which explains why the water roll off of their backs, which is fine. But did you know they move so slow that they have their own unique ecosystem in their fur. So the color you see of the sloth, if it's been old enough for a while, it has a greenish color to it. And you know why it's green? Because of all the algae growing in their fur. 80 different kinds of algae and fungi in their fur that grow nowhere else except in their fur. There are also different species of moths and beetles in their fur that can be found nowhere else in the world. That's funky, right? I mean, that's some pretty. So when you ever give a sloth a bath, they have to use a special kind of soap that doesn't destroy all the algae and doesn't destroy all the critters in their fur. But anyway, so I have to share that with you just because I felt like you needed to know. You needed to know. Yeah. Okay, now let's get to the other eyebrow over here. Other eyebrow shape's going to be sitting way on this edge, up and around. And don't forget that one, kind of tucked in. That one side. There. Other eyebrow. Even add some lines here to kind of suggest the flow of the fur on the top of his head. And I'll even let some more of it weave down, kind of let it nice, little into flow. There. You can draw however you want to draw that little bit of fur. Just give us a flow. Now we got to add in a smile. He's going to be smiling for us. I can back this up a little bit. Here we go. A little bit of smile. The dimple's way over here. Some little mark underneath it to kind of indicate the edge of the smile. And I'll reattach it to the side of my nose here. we go. There's a left dimple. Now, for his lip, we're going to draw the edge of the lip poking out from the right side. And we're going to draw a little bit of small mark to indicate the lip on the right side of his face. But, not connected over here. Draw the shape we need for the mouth. So yes, as I mentioned before, their fur turns to a greenish color, and that's because of the algae that grows, particularly the algae that grows in their fur. So inside down, I'm going to draw the rest of his mouth over here, just underneath my little line. Let it dip a little lower, and I'll reattach it back to the left. Nice little dip for his chin. There, I'll mark for my chin. Flash. Now, when it comes to sloths being endangered, they are. Endangered critters too. The main three-toed sloth is one of the most. The main three-toed sloth is one of the most threatened in Brazil's Atlantic rainforest. Of all the sloths, it is 100% of its original size. I mean, it's only 10%. 100%. It's only 10% of its original number of sloths we had before. Their numbers have dropped drastically. And if you'd like to learn more about these, you can go learn more about it by turning to the GLTs, which is the golden lion tamarins as well, because the two of these critters are tied together with their decline. The tamarins and the sloths, they both share the same trees. Both equally affected by deforestation. So you can look up GOTs.
I want you to keep going.
For deforestation and for sloths as well. There's a mouth. Now let's add in the inside of the mouth. Let's open this up a little bit. No, we're not going to draw any teeth, but we're not going to open the mouth though.
Look at the eye.
There it is.
I love it.
I'll draw a little curve at the top.
Do you want me to give you a piece of paper?
Show the back side. There's some depth in there. Good. And once you got that out of the way, let me go ahead and shade in the bottom part of the snout. Just a little bit, let it distinguish from the rest of it. This is why I'm drawing the whole thing in green, because it's giving some of the algae look to it. Then we can add some of this little bit of a bit of a goatee that he's got here. Let's add some of the fur. We'll switch back. Just long
Still go on top of
shapes of that fur.
Yeah, but I'll have to start over.
I tell you what, I'm gonna cut you out.
There.
Okay, I'm gonna do artist.
Goatee drawing in there. Looks good for us.
So
And then next we need to go ahead and draw the rest of where his name gets tucked into his office shirt. Yes. We're going to draw in his shirt down the bottom. Drag it just a little
But I
lower.
just like drawing whatever I want.
you can try,
Now
you
I'm
know,
going to kick
you
it
can
way
turn
over
that
here to the
into
left.
something whatever you want. You have
Full
an idea?
shape
You want
into
to
the
do?
full form of his head.
Already?
We got to add more to him though.
I'll
He's
draw
got
it to
more.
whatever.
More to add.
I got you.
Just going to line to the fur in the back. It's going to draw these up. You're going to suggest the flow. Here's the curve around. Kind of vary these lines up a little bit.
You can do a lot of really messy things.
Switch this to that purpose. The next thing now is going to be the colored shirt that we see wearing from the DMV. And down below, I'm going to put a little bit of upside down V shape for his underside of his
But I would
collar.
kind of like to draw whatever I want.
Upside down V.
Yeah, you can draw whatever
Oh, you can't see that. I'll back it up. Now you can see it. There you go.
I draw like
Upside down V right down here. There's just two small lines. I'll get to that. And over the back side, let me go and stretch this out here too, to the back of his neck, or the back of his
You want to
back
keep
of his
that
back.
for your show?
We drag this
You want to
over.
keep it because you did a great job on that.
Okay, back side, and then the other side over here, the small line sticks out. Used to be very, very similar.
You just have fun, okay? Just give me one thing. Enjoy
Here's the other
yourself.
side. Now you can put in the rest of the shirt color. I pick it up on the left, and basically we're just drawing a straight line. Going from here to there. Not that tricky. Draw that in. The shirt color on this end, and then from the other side as well. Now, this is something that's quirky to know about these guys. They can swim. In fact, they move faster to the water than they can on land. Oddly enough. But when they're on land, they move about 1.5 miles per hour. They're the slowest moving mammals on the planet. Just so you know. Here's our shirt. Now let's go ahead and work in his tie. Look at the little tie he's got in the middle and begin to draw the knot of the tie. The square knot, which is kind of a hex shape right here. Sits underneath this collar. Draw the rest of the tie, kind of stretching out from here on either side. It is a very, very neatly, pristinely arranged tie. Probably has a double laser. I'll put some stripes on my tie here. 1, 2, and one more third stripe there across my tie. And we can draw the stripes of the tie going down. Sure, let's put some lines in here for the stripes. Even has a little bit of tie pin. Right down below, a nice super tie pin. Small circle within. We'll draw another stripe on it.
Artwork? You want some color with that too?
These are going to tie all the way through down to our little print.
Crayons,
Let's add in the
That's
sleeves.
all I have right
Yeah.
now.
So for the sleeves, I'm
Good
going to
job. I
extend a
love
little
it.
bitty lines right here to the tips of our shirt. Drag it over to the left just a little bit, roughly about an inch. This is where it's going to be like the armpit. This is armpit for that left sleeve. I'll draw a couple of the seams on his shirt collar, or shirt sleeve here for the arm, a little crease. Put those in. The left one. And now for the right one, we didn't know what the rest of his little shirt's going to be, so I'll extend it a little bit line on my shirt collar. Drag it over maybe about
Maybe an orange?
half an inch.
Okay.
And pull this line straight down, which is where the armpit is on the other side. Which means we can now add in the rest of his
That's really good.
sleeve
Those look
on this
really
end.
good.
Couple creases. Pull line through. We can also see the rest of his sleeve going down. There we go. One more thing to give him is going to be his little bitty pocket. The pocket for his shirt. But there are some versions of sloths that are extinct. Been for a while now. One's called the Megatherium. This sloth was elephant-sized. They ate the tufts of trees many years ago. These were one of the older forms of sloth, but they're extinct. Then there's another one that's more of a pony-sized sloth, and that one's called the Megalax. Megalax, and those are also extinct in the size of a pumpkin. Not quite as big as one's the size of an elephant, but those two are also extinct. I mean, there are very little means of being protect themselves because they're so slow moving. There we have our drawing on flash. I'll shade the top of the hair a little bit, kind of give a little bit of a tone, a value. And there's your drawing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, don't forget to autograph your work. Congratulations, you guys are the latest batch of unpaid animation Disney interns. Yeah! Guys, how many of this is your first time ever drawing Flash? First time, show of hands. This is the very best Flash you've ever drawn in your life. This is fridge-worthy. It belongs to fridge at home, in the kitchen, upstairs, downstairs, in the garage. But the beer fridge, the deep freeze, the neighbor's beer fridge. I'm sure they got a beer fridge somewhere. Pretty sure somewhere. Very good. And so the video I showed you earlier, so for the past 20 minutes, you've been walking in the shoes of it as the animator. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You guys did a great job drawing Flash 100-yard tag.